السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome once again to another episode of Instructional Quran on Ummah TV. I'm your host, Ustadh Jamal Sheeth. Like we've been doing, for the past few episodes, we've been talking about instructions to the glorious Quran and how we can use these instructions to improve ourselves in our daily lives. Today we're going to do another set of 5 instructions from the Quran. Like I always say, the Quran is a personal letter from Allah to each individual, and it's our duty to go through it, read through it, try to understand some of the instructions and commands in there, and see how we can imbibe this in our lives so we can be better people. Better people meaning people who are better, deserving of being in a better place, which is Al-Jannah, Al-Firdaus. So we're going to starting off with the first one, which says, help those in need by finding them. This is interesting. Help those in need by finding them. Not just helping those in need. You say, okay, well, no person has come to ask me for alms, so I'm not going to give. Well, you have to go out and look for people who are in need. Go to the poor neighborhoods, go to the poor shelters of town and see how you can find those who need something and give them. In Islam, there are 2 kinds of poor people. There's a faqir and there's a miskeen. So miskeen is someone who is, who's a destitute. Sometimes it has, sometimes it doesn't have. You get, you can't say, well, I saw you eating chicken yesterday, so I cannot give you alms today. Well, it might be lucky to have got chicken yesterday, but today he's got nothing. That's a miskeen. He's deserving of alms. And this is faqir, meaning someone who's totally wretched. He has nothing. Whether today, whether tomorrow, whether next, he's got nothing. It's our duty as Muslims to go out and look for both of them and see how we can give them. We'll give them from our wealth. We have to go and look for them. So Allah is saying, charity is for the poor who have been restricted for the cause of Allah, unable to move about in the land. An ignorant person will think them self-sufficient because of their restraint. But you will know them by their characteristics sign. They do not ask people persistently or at all. And whatever you spend of good, indeed, Allah is knowing of it. Allah is saying charity is for the poor who have been restricted for the cause of Allah, unable to move about the land. An ignorant person will think them self-sufficient because of their restraint. But you will know them by their characteristic sign, that you not ask people persistently or at all. And whatever you spend of good, indeed, Allah is knowing of it. This is interesting, and this is also a lesson in self-restraint, a ta'affuf, have self-restraint. Allah is saying that charity is meant for the people who are poor because of certain circumstance. They've been restricted in certain places because maybe there's war, there's famine, they couldn't move around and land, and they're kind of confined to that space. They couldn't get access to business opportunities, and because of that, they're poor. You will think them self-sufficient. In other words, you won't see them going around begging for alms. If you did really, prod as much as you can to find the details or the foundations of what makes them tick, you will think that they are really, really rich. You think, because they don't go about begging for alms. They don't go about, being all fatalistic about life and all sorts. They don't do that. You will think them self-sufficient because they're restrained. They don't, the ta'affuf, you see them, they don't go about telling people, please, give me this, give me that. They don't do that, you see. But you will know them by their characteristic sign. But you always see also that, this person might be put up the front, that he's fine and dandy. Things are not really as rosy in heaven as it is. And then these are the people you give charity to. Allah is saying, give charity to them. Go and look for them and find them. It's not until they come to you and say they need. That's why during the Eid period, the Eid al-Adha, when we slaughter rams, Allah says the meat of the ram is meant for those who come and ask you for meat and say, well, where's my salah ram or where's my salah meat? You give them. And it's for those who won't even come to ask you, they need it too. So they're the ones Allah is talking about here. They have restraints. They don't go begging people for things, but they need it too. It's your duty to go and give it to them. So Allah is saying that poor people are also people who you don't find, put up the toga or, put up this facade of, we really need something. They don't come to you for that. You have to go out and look for them and give them. You can find them in the poor neighborhoods. You can find them in ghettos and poor shelters of our communities. You can find them there. Go there and give them charity.